I'm ready to go to a party. Well, almost. You kind of caught me in the middle. I'm making something to take to the party. Human Kind Nutty bars. They're really awesome. They're great to share. They're great to take on a hike. They're great to pack in a lunch. I'd love to show you how to make them. You ready? Let's go. All right, to get started making our Human Kind Nutty bars, I have several different kinds of nuts here. I have 1/2 cup of rough chopped almonds, 1/2 cup of rough chopped cashews, some raw sunflower seeds, and some pistachios. These happen to be roasted and salted. So I'm going to adjust my salt just a little bit in the end. Normally I would have all raw nuts and I would add 1/2 teaspoon of salt at the end. I also have 1/4 cup of raw sunflower seeds. We're going to put them all in the bowl, mix them together. Okay, my seeds are all in the bowl. I'll just give them a quick toss. Make sure we don't have too much of any one kind in any one spot. I like a nice even distribution. I can't believe how simple these are. You add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of molasses, and it comes out slow as molasses. I'm adding just 1/4 teaspoon of salt because some of my nuts were already salted. Mix this all together until all the nuts are thoroughly coated. Okay, so I have an 8x8 pan that I've lined with some parchment paper. Oh, actually I have 2 pans. We'll just put this one over here. We only need 1. So I've lined it with parchment paper because later when we're done baking it, we'll be able to lift the whole thing out, cut it up, it'll be beautiful. What we do now is just pour our nut mixture right into our pan and press down. You want an even distribution all the way around the pan, so there's no place where you have a thinner amount of nuts than another. All the way to the edges. Okay, so the nuts are all pressed down in the pan. I have the oven on 300 degrees. I'm gonna pop them in there for about 20 to 25 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to make some chocolate dipping sauce. This is 2 tablespoons of cacao. My recipe says 1, I'm doubling the recipe. So I have 2 tablespoons of cacao. I also have 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. I'm gonna pour that right into the raw cacao. It can be chocolate, just like regular Hershey's cocoa powder. And then we're going to use 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now, I really like that I've used this spoon for the coconut oil because watch this. 1, look at that, it slides right out. 2, 3, just a little bit more, 4. Look at that clean spoon. 1 drop of maple syrup, that's it. Now we're gonna use a little whisk and just mix this together. It's that simple. And then we have to wait for those to get done. Okay, so I just brought these out of the oven. It took about 26 minutes for them to just show a little bit of browning. Now they need to cool down before we can dip them in the chocolate sauce. Okay, so our Human Kind Nutties are all cooled down. You want them completely cooled before we dip them into the chocolate. So now, look at this. How easy was that? Look at that pan. Hardly any cleanup. You might notice that I have a pan of water sitting here, and that's because while these were cooling, I needed my chocolate dipping sauce to stay warm. Otherwise, the coconut oil in here will make it hard, which is what it's going to do on the bars. but we didn't want it to get hardened yet. So here we go. Cut this. You can choose to cut them into like bars that you would see like granola bar size or squares. I prefer to cut them into little squares. That way they're just right for popping in your mouth at a party. This is the most fun part. And look at that. Just drop it right in there. Set it on parchment lined pan. Put it to cool and you're good to go. You can also drizzle a little over the top for a little special effect. Makes them look just a little more fancy. They're all dipped. Now we're gonna get a little fancy. I'm gonna put a little bit of the chocolate in here in a little baggie, cut the tip off and just zip it right over the top. You don't want any of that water in there. Definitely want the chocolate. I'm gonna try to get most of the air out of here. Then I'm gonna cut just this little tip off and I'm going to just zip right along over these and it's gonna be really cute and fancy, I hope. Squeeze. Sound effects help. It's gonna explode. Okay, after we put the chocolate sauce on, we put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes because we want that chocolate to all harden up. Now I'm ready to plate it. Okay, I think I'm ready to go to the party. Well, I think I should try it. I think I'm going for this one right here. Look at that. These are really delicious and ready to go to the party. I've loved spending time with you making these human kind nutty bars. And if you want to join me again on another cooking adventure, I'd love that. Subscribe to my channel or hit the notification bell. I'll see you next time on the Simply Healthy Kitchen.